the centre of Harrogate. Oh yeah, context last ISM, I was on my way somewhere and ended up joining the meeting whilst I was walking through somewhere I wasn't familiar with. I blame by not actually paying much attention to navigation on that. Our words are now being broadcast then, are we?
Correct, yes.
Oh, damn it, now I can't reveal the secrets of the Fife Cave.
I mean, anyone can go in spectator mode and see it, so it's not exactly a secret anymore.
Okay, but the way in might be, unless they also see the way in.
Fly in spectator mode, the easiest way in.
Feels like a museum at this point. Like maybe we should turn it into a museum and charge money.
Make a what museum?
AP is where I am. Is this a new entrance area?
It's a new exit.
Or exit, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way for this car to actually get out of here.
Oh, funny that.
It's not as if it's connected into the car park or something. To be honest, I'm surprised we kept the car park in somewhere as walkable as this.
Well, that's right. It's a basement car park.
Fair.
Although actually, no, the base it's fully disconnected because if you look at the ramp, it's been covered up. Oh no, only on one side.
If we had gone with my AdMod building, I think I would have gotten rid of much of the basement.
If you don't mind me, I'll just be on the trampoline.
Do we have a GSM location?
I don't know.
Do we want to do a ping for people?
Well, if Chief comes in, well, it'll ping at everyone as soon as the event starts. I'm waiting for Chief to. There he is. Hi, Chief.
Hello.
Let's do it in, if AP you're okay, how about we do it in Ellerton Fosby, given the Union line is extended down to there?
Sure.
We've got a nice flat car park next to the station.
Bus station, but okay.
Flat car park.
According to Elite, the newest trustee is Jim Harbaugh.
And I can't actually teleport there. There we go. Oh, so that's where you set the teleport. Fair enough.
So Jim Harbaugh, the newest trustee, says, do not drink haterade, do not eat hater tots. I am not going to give the context of that quote, but that's an actual thing he said.
Okay.
I'm not wasting any brain cells trying to comprehend that.
Probably for the best.
All right. Well, I've gotten a couple absentee ballots, so I'm guessing we can go ahead and get started. Hopefully we'll get a couple more people joining in. This is the December 2022 General Staff Meeting. This is the last GSM of the year, and possibly the last staff meeting of the year, depending on what we vote on here.
Yes, definitely the last staff meeting, because we don't have an
right,
ISM in December.
You're right, because we proactively canceled that. You're right. Thank you. Yeah, so last staff meeting of the year. So yeah, hope y'all are doing good with holidays and all that fun stuff. I see Simon has teleported me into a chair.
We've got a seating area. Formal.
Okay. Nice. All
So
right.
ghetto.
So, all right. So we have received 3 conductor applications, and we do have a moderator nomination this time around. So we will go ahead and get started with those.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Do you got minutes up, Vicky, or do you want me to do it?
I'll get it up here just a second. I'm getting them up right now.
Okay, thanks.
I'm glad Vicky is on it because she is so consistent. I never think about it.
I was about to mention it. I was going to do it anyway if Vicky didn't show up.
Continuing my activity, it's the only thing that's mine anymore. So
Okay, so I have received absentee ballots from 7D and Dinty. And
From Polo, because I think he was on earlier.
I have not received one from Polo.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
Okay, so including the 6 of us who are on the call now, that is 8 votes. 8 people who are voting. And all right, the list has been randomized for our first conductor candidate, who is painted blue. I'm going to pull up these absentee ones so that when I get to them, that I have them and that they're ready. Okay, so first up, painted blue. First vote will be from AP.
Neutral for now.
Okay, Simon.
4.
Frumble.
4.
Dinty, absentee ballot is a yes. Vicky.
4.
Skelly.
4.
70s absentee is a yes. And Chief is a yes.
Yeah,
So what is that? 710?
yeah. I'm happy to change to a 4, not that it really makes any difference. I don't have much experience with painted blue myself personally enough to make a massive judgment, but if everyone else is happy.
I mean, ultimately, that's what a neutral is for. So it's
right, and painted will go through even if you stay as a neutral. So
Don't let our votes dissuade you.
Yeah.
Like, it's, if you don't know, you don't know.
and that's fine. That's what it's there for.
So will it still be 4 or neutral?
Switching to a 4.
You'll switch to yes. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I feel like I miscounted something.
So that
We
should
only
be
have 14. It's 8006. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm counting 8006. Does that seem correct? That adds up to 14.
That is correct. Yeah.
that is correct.
I thought we had 15 for some reason, so I wasn't sure.
Which means that we do technically have quorum with those votes. So there you go. All right. Cool. So congratulations, Painted. That is approved. Our next conductor candidate is the all-rounder MC. And the list is randomized. And we are starting with Vicky.
Neutral.
Okay. 7D by absentee is a yes. AP?
Neutral.
Frumble?
Neutral.
Chief is a neutral. Dinty by absentee is a no.
Hmm.
And Skelly.
Neutral leaning against.
I think I only I only got 7.
Simon's vote?
Hi.
Did I get Simon or did I miss you?
You didn't. No, you missed me.
Oh, sorry,
but
Simon.
it is a neutral from me. Happy if that's everyone. I'm happy to give of the reasoning. I think for me, well, a combination of I don't know Tol. I don't know the Oranda all that well. I know he's obviously from a different time zone, which doesn't help that. But I think for me, what was particularly swaying was I just didn't find the reasoning all that convincing or all that persuading.
So I told the all-rounder this morning because I wanted to give him a chance ahead of time to rebut my reasoning, although he is here right now. But basically, in the past, I would have voted against, so this is an improvement. But from my experience with him working on the extension project, I feel like there's been times when the all-rounder hasn't completely thought through some things, and I don't think I can really trust his judgment with world edits based on that.
Okay, that's good to know. Chief, what was Dinty's reasoning for an against vote?
Dinty did not give a reasoning. Just
Uh,
just said the all-rounder MC against.
okay.
So I can.
Yeah, I think we agreed. I mean, it didn't change the outcome, but we did agree a couple of weeks ago that absentee ballots should give reasons. So
Yeah, I simply said I would be less tolerant of accepting just straight up for or against votes without any reasoning.
Yeah, because 7D's ballot, which is a yes, says covers all bases except world edit knowledge, but that's something that can be learned based from experience with them. I think they're fine.
That conflicts with Skelly's experience. So I don't know.
Right,
different
so-
circumstances.
Well, I'll explain a specific thing which I did tell the all-rounder, and he understood because he wasn't completely expecting to be promoted anyways. But one thing I'll cite was that when we were going to Chongguo, he wanted to go straight into building around it, and I had to tell him that we couldn't just rely on Silver giving a yes on his own. We had to go work with Silver, around with Silver, and it ended up resulting in Silver wanting the station farther out than he had planned for Chongguo. So that's one thing that I was thinking of specifically that was making me doubt whether he'd have great judgments if we gave him world edits.
That's fair, but I think I'm gonna stay neutral.
I was leaning against two Skelly, mainly not for that, but I think your point's legitimate. I'm just not sure if Allrunner is the most mature person in terms of other interactions I've had with him, so it does make me pause of whether he would be a good conductor in dealing with other people, basically.
Yeah, I was leaning against, but I didn't feel for similar reasonings, but I stayed neutral.
Yeah, my reason for neutral was my experience with Tar and World Edits is I've not come away from them with a good feeling that they actually know they wouldn't have much experience with it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So it could be both just world ed experience and other stuff too. So
A general maturity seems like that's another concern that's coming up.
And
Okay.
again, I'll emphasize that in the past, I would have voted against on the all-rounder, so I think this is an improvement.
So it looks like that.
That's
The
one
result is
6 to
gonna be a no.
1 6. So yeah, not
Okay.
promoted.
All right. Any other any changes in votes that people want to make? Okay, hearing none, then that is the application refused. Sorry, Tara. Good luck if you try again in the future. All right, third and final conductor candidate is Moj, who has, as we all know, served in the mod and conductor roles previously. Moj was demoted down to premier based on the policy that staff members cannot resign down to conductor and would have to reapply. So Moj is reapplying under that. And if I can get rid of this notification, then there we go. All right. Ballot is randomized. First up is Simon.
4, but I've got some reasons to talk through, which, yeah, but 4.
Okay. All right. Frumple.
4.
7D by absentee ballot is yes. Vicky?
I'm voting for.
Okay, Dinty by absentee says against, but he says that he's here, which he just put in the stat. Moj is helpful and friendly, but there was an incident while he was still in staff that really rubbed me up the wrong way. I don't know how much detail you guys want to go into, but we should probably not mention specific names.
Okay.
AP.
4.
Okay, Chief's a yes, and Skelly.
4 for now, but I might change my mind depending on what Dinty says and what comes out of what Dinty's referring to.
Okay, so the prelim ballot is 7016.
I'll start with my reasoning because it's a fairly simple one. I was
Yeah, go for it.
considering Moj's availability. Obviously, he stepped down from staff because of lack of availability, which actually is one of the key conductor traits. But I think having read his comment, I can't remember where. In his application actually, that he would be available more. I think I am keeping my vote for. It obviously is only a few months since he stepped down from staff, so I wasn't sure how reliable that could be. The fact he only very recently said he wouldn't have availability, but I mean, I have done similar, albeit over larger timescales, of stepping down from staff and coming back up. So it's not something I am holding against Moj, hence my vote in favour.
Well, Moj notes in his application that it seems like a big reason that he stepped down was because his IB schooling. But it's December, and it makes sense around this time it would end, and he'd resume normal activities. So I'm trusting Moj on this one. But if he is inactive, we'll evaluate it again in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah, ultimately that's what the regular evaluation is looking to do. So, likewise, agree.
Yeah, and having gone through IB myself, I would assume that Moj is on the December exam schedule. So in that case, then that means that he is complete. I know that at least when I did it, I was on the May schedule, so that would point IAs finished about now, and XAs or EAs would be completed in May. But that's also our typical exam season for folks anyway. So I'm not, I'm not terribly concerned if he's of the opinion that he's all set. Then that's fine. And again, we will be doing that just for folks' awareness that we have noted to conductors that we will be doing an activity review in January. So obviously, I think just we're going to be a little bit more aware of that.
Although that's only for the initial batch of candidates. We're just to clarify, it's going to be on the rolling 6-month basis based on when
Sure,
staff are promoted.
sure, but I think just knowing that that activity will be reviewed, I think that's fine, and he's done good in the position before. So
So I'm going to comment on Dinty's concern. Staff know it internally, but it's not been revealed to the public because it was specifically an incident that it was only between Moj and 2 other members. So there was not really any need to. And also, I don't have permission to reveal names at this point, so I can't really go into too much detail. The only thing I will say is I was the one who mediated between Moj and these 2 and addressed that concern. Based on at least one of the people who brought up the complaint, their intention, they told me specifically that they did not want to demote Moj, but they did want the concern to be addressed. So from what happened, Moj did apologize to both of those players, and I decided in that instance, because of what the member wanted, not to engage in a demotion. When it comes to what we're discussing now, Moj is becoming a conductor, I would definitely say I definitely have, because of that incident, I would definitely have pause of promoting Moj back to mod based on that incident. But to conductor, the criteria is not as strict, and if it's just for world edits in this case, I don't think that sort of incident would happen again, I would hope. So that is my reasoning for that.
Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with Frumple thinking about it, and Dinty actually did talk to me about it a little bit, but thinking a little bit, and it did give me pause on my for vote, but thinking about it, if hypothetically, if it were a member who did that incident and it got resolved by now and nothing of that happened since, I think I'd still be willing to vote them into conductor, especially when they're serving a time that still needs more coverage.
Yeah, I wouldn't take time zone too much into account. I would in this case, I must mostly. We already know that Moj can do world edits, is good at world edit. I think there's no question about that. It's just that this instant, I think, more deals with, I guess, interpersonal relationships, and there's an aspect part of that in conductor, but I don't think it's. But considering what the job conductor is, I don't think it will affect that too much. Dinty's changing to neutral. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I was reading something else. Okay, Dinty is neutral. Okay. That doesn't swing the vote. It still seems that Moj is clearly promoted, so no one's 0. 6 did not vote.
Okay. All right. So that is the conductors all set. So that is Moj and Painted Blue promoted, and the all-rounder is not promoted. All right. And finally, in the promotions category, we have a mod candidate, first one in a while, and that is Foot Chicken. And who was nominated by Skelly and Dinty B. This is the first one of using that process of 2 people working together on a nomination. So thank you, Skelly and Dinty, for. Oh God, I randomized the list and it put Dinty and Skelly first.
I mean, we pretty much know what their answer will be, but Might as well.
They
Standard
submitted a
procedure.
nomination.
They might just.
They are still staff members. They still get a vote.
Yes, they do. So
They might.
I mean, the opinion
Anyway.
might have changed in the last week or so.
That is true.
Hmm.
that is true. So anyway, so we'll keep
Anyway.
it valid like that. Okay, so Dinty is first.
Yes.
Dinty's a yes. Skelly.
4.
No surprises
Simon.
so far.
Yeah.
I am a 4
AP.
out of 10.
Yep.
Frumple.
Neutral.
Vicky.
4.
7D by absentee is a yes. And Chief is a yes.
You know, I know these are sorted in alphabetical order, but I still have a difficult time finding names sometimes.
I guess I should explain my neutral vote. I'm gonna admit I wasn't really convinced by the nomination. Particularly some of the evidence. I think some of it was quite old. Like we're calling like at least a year or two ago. So I'm not sure how relevant it is. Perhaps this might be my own bias here, but I feel like there are in my mind, I think there might be better candidates than Foot. Like for Foot, nothing really stood out. Like I don't think he's going to do anything wrong, but nothing really stood out in the positive either for me.
To be honest, I have a hard time thinking what other better candidates there are, but obviously I'm assuming you don't want to nominate people from Bolt.
I definitely won't because I feel like it should be the community that does it. And if I say anything, that might bias people. So, yeah.
In terms of the evidence, I swore I did note that some of the evidence was older, although I guess I didn't. I do agree that some of the evidence is a bit old, but I used it because I think it did strongly show that he can keep his cool, and I don't think anything's changed regarding that.
I guess.
I mean, I completely understand the concern about the evidence being old, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not voting against. I'm not vetoing. So if you guys want it, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, I have had good experiences working with Foot. I think, obviously, in his time as conductor, he's done, some good stuff for the community, and I think that I can certainly see that, for Crumple, that you maybe you've got your reservations and all, and in my experience, I think that he's got what it takes, and I feel comfortable giving him a shot.
Okay.
Yep, I am in a similar boat. So, anyone else want to say anything? Because right now it's promoted.
Yep.
I'll stick with my neutral vote, but yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Hearing no further changes or comments, we can call that ballot closed. And Foot Chicken is promoted to mod.
Congrats.
So
I
congratulations.
think-
And
I think Foot is the first person to go from a conductor to a mod. So,
yep, that sounds right to me. All right. Cool. Frumple, 5A is all yours.
Okay. If you haven't followed the thread in forum, there's a lot more details in there. But basically, I don't want to do ISMs anymore. I think that's a lot of effort into for just a few infrastructure topics, and considering people are just even busier and like some staff haven't even attended some of these ISMs, I just want less meetings. One meeting per month, and I think feel like that's better, and that's what we've been doing for many years. So that's that. To replace ISMs, I want to do a forum channel. There'll be a separate channel for section 6 to 10 topics, and forum will turn into one for just section 5. How it's going to work, I guess you can read through all of it, but basically, a person who wants to submit a proposal for like a transport project or an event or IT or whatever, they make the topic in the forum channel, or the proposals channel, I should say. Then staff can, whenever they have time, read it over and vote or discuss within a period of 1 week. I was debating whether it should be 2 weeks or not, but 1 week is at least a little bit faster than the ISM wait time, or on average anyway. So a proposal can be approved, rejected, extended, or deferred. This is just to allow in case maybe something needs further discussion, but I'd imagine for most 6 to 10 topics, probably not going to happen that too often. And yeah, we'll use reactions, but we have to clean that. We can't enforce people we can't make, unfortunately there's no way in Discord to make it staff only, so we have to do some cleanup or just ask members not to put them in. The one question that I still have, and I don't think it was actually answered or maybe even addressed in the post, is I think there should be some sort of quorum or a minimum threshold of staff votes. But the problem is I'm not sure what that is. I was hoping that we could discuss that here. It could be some percentage, it could be some number, but I don't know what you guys want there.
That is an excellent question. I feel like half is too much. Like having it half the staff, so either floor, like depending on if we round up or round down, it would be after Foot becomes mod, it would be 7 or 8. That seems like too much to me.
I'm not sure if
with Foot being mod, a majority would be 8.
I'm not sure if I agree with the idea that 50% is too much. I think it's okay, on paper, I think it should be reasonable that staff members can check and look over the topics and vote on them in a timely manner. But I recognize that this isn't necessarily going to happen with the state of the staff at the present time.
Yeah, I mean, so I can see both sides of it. Skelly, I agree with you that on paper it makes a ton of sense, especially because this is an asynchronous request for staff to take a look at. I also think that giving a week for my thought is, I think it is a reasonable threshold to say a simple majority needs to approve for a couple of reasons. One, Skelly, as you said, and as I just mentioned. 2, it doesn't take that much time to review, and because this is an asynchronous thing, people can look at whatever, or people can look at it at a time of their choosing. This is a good kind of thing to do while you are commuting or doing those kinds of boring adult things, right? And 3 is, this is an expectation of someone being a mod, is that part of the job requirements of mods and admins is to process these kinds of requests in a timely fashion. And in addition to being in game and stuff like that, right?
I mean, if you compare it to, say, the city rank promotions, like they are a thing where you have to be in game and it takes maybe 10-15 minutes to make a decision sometimes, especially with, it's fair enough. But like you've said, if you're on the bus, you can do that because it's usually just a case of look over it. I can't say it'd take more than a couple of minutes to make a judgment for the most part.
Especially because this
Yeah.
is something that most of these proposals you should be able to read and make a decision on entirely from your phone if you needed to.
That's
Exactly.
fair. I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, I think 50% is reasonable, thinking more about it.
Sorry, guys, I'm back. Just want to clarify one question I was about to ask, but had to run away quickly. When we say 50%, are we saying 50% of all the staff have to approve, or are we saying 50% of those that vote? And if there's a lower quorum,
I think it's
So it is-
total number of votes. So if it's
so a simple majority of at least 50% of staff. So theoretically,
So we need 8 votes. A majority of those need to be yes.
yes.
okay.
So in
Okay.
this case, it would pass with 5 yes votes and 3 votes of other types.
I'm assuming there will be no neutral votes in these discussions.
Correct.
It'll just
No,
be
it's
a
yes,
simple
no,
yes, no.
It's yes, no, extend or defer.
I think the only other point worth noting is, do we want to allow staff to vote on their own topics? I know clearly for town ranks we don't allow that, but are we saying the same for in which case that it's going to mess with the quorum slightly if it is a staff owned topic?
I guess we should look at how have we done it for existing topics, right? Like
It's generally, I mean, existing topics have generally been based on consensus.
yeah. So I think just in case the numbers, just for technicality reasons, I think the staff member who's submitting shouldn't, or has any sort of stake into it, should probably not vote into it.
Yeah, I think in that case it's just worth keeping an eye on the quorum. So if we know that we've only had 6 staff votes, but it's affecting 3 different staff members, then we can take some liberty there.
Yeah, just the remaining staff who are not involved would then be the new quorum.
It's a question of where we put that level of involvement to be. For example, using the recent example of the union phase 3, would I be a stakeholder in that? Possibly. I mean, look where we are right now.
Yeah, I think
I would say
that'll be a judgment call. I think. Oh, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I would say that that's going to be a case by case. I think there are some cases where it's obvious, like if you're the one who's building it, and then if you are like proposing a small scale thing that only affects like a couple, if you're proposing a small scale thing that only affects a couple towns and your town is affected, so like say you're doing well, no, I mean, if your town is affected, I think you should be able to vote because your town is affected by it. Like, even though you have been approached for permissions.
Yeah, I think it should
I
only
think
be
it's
the proposer that doesn't get a vote if they are staff.
At the very least. Yeah.
Right. I think the only other case that I can think of where a conflict of interest would arise is if you are a staff member that is sponsoring an MRT line by somebody else, or you are going to be running.
No, I don't even think staff sponsoring MRT lines would be that hypocritical.
That's why I say it could arise, right? I didn't necessarily, but like the other one that I think is probably more likely is if you are running an event. Maybe.
I mean, given we require half the staff forum, is it worth just not bothering with that and saying all staff can vote, which heavily simplifies it? And realistically, in that edge case, I have a strong trust that the rest of the staff will be able to appropriately vote, and that just heavily simplifies the whole process. That we say half of all staff members.
Yeah.
Let's make it simple.
And then that's just, and that can become a perk of being a staff member. That, well, guess what? If you're making a project, you've automatically got your own vote.
And we can trust. I would hope we can trust staff to recuse themselves. That's the word. If they think that they have a conflict of interest. So.
Yeah. I don't think we should apply that principle backwards to the town voting. So I think that should stay independent. But I think for GSM proposals, it can.
Because the town voting. Because town voting does carry with it a bunch of other perks that last after the thing is built, whereas sections 6 through 10, those are almost always construction requests, and like it's I want to build a thing or I want to do a thing. And
Yeah.
that I think is a much more bound case, whereas a CRPB voting process, that is potentially changing your rank.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
Yeah.
whereas we do not confer the rank associated with a town that is acquired through an IAT. So
Yeah, it's like there's I think a big difference between towns and like the section 6 to 10 projects. Like especially like for example like a B road. Like if they are proposed well and the author has done their due diligence, it's typically a rubber stamp anyway.
Mm.
So
yeah.
I don't really see it as mattering all that much.
On the minor logistical note, I suspect going forward, if we approve this, which it looks like we're in consent, but it looks like we're reaching a consensus of probably yes, would we change the numbering scheme on the meetings? So, for example, 1 through 5 as normal, and then 6 as just any other?
I think that would make a lot of sense.
Basically, yeah.
So otherwise, we just have topics with no votes.
I don't know if we should do that since, because Simon, you mentioned that there would be MRT line announcements, which I'm not sure what section.
I mean,
would
that
go.
can just go into any other when it needs to happen.
Okay.
Or even
So any other becomes like any, like the current any other plus any that have to be deferred, plus
Basically merging
MRT.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically merging 5 through 9 into 10. Or no, 6 through 9 into 10.
Yeah, correct.
I see. Okay.
Because the chances of an actual topic that require proper discussion will be slim. And I think for MRT lines, because we have historically opened those at GSMs, I think we can process the, we'll leave that up to the line opener or to the line builder, but of when they want to schedule that opening. But I think, making that a formal thing, that's a totally fine topic for section 10.
Sorry, going back to what the quorum thing, I think I would like for us to go with Dinty's suggestion. We'll make sure we'll go with the 50%. If it somehow doesn't work, because we need to try it first. But if it somehow doesn't work, we can always change it later.
Sorry, I didn't see what Dinty's suggestion was.
It was basically try 50% for now, and then see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I think
I think
as we have
that's
done for other recent major decisions like conductor, I wouldn't be opposed to reviewing this in 3 months just to see how it's going as a matter of course.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're always good to adjust as needed, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the quorum, so then half of the staff have to vote, half of those voting have to approve. Cool.
But honestly, based on how I've seen ISMs or basically these topics go, it's usually just rubber stamping, like yes, or there's usually some concern, or more likely missing information, and we have to pester the proposer for
Right.
To give that info. Okay.
Then I think in that case that then we would be saying to staff to liberally use the no vote if we are genuinely missing something.
Yeah.
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 Because that doesn't. There's no delay at that point. As soon as the ballot closes, you can resubmit with the required information.
And obviously staff can change their vote. Like you could start off voting no until that information is available, and then you can change your
Right.
vote.
If you amend your proposal with stuff, then staff can change their vote if they see it in time.
Okay.
So
yeah.
just to clarify, what are the voting options for staff? So we've obviously got yes. If there is a majority of yes votes, then the topic is approved. If there is a majority of no votes, it will be denied. But was there a third
There's
thing for
extend and there's defer.
Defer. So extend is probably the more common. It's in case, in the event that a topic doesn't have, actually, if there's not enough, if we don't have enough staff members voting, or if there's clearly some people voting for, some people voting against, extending might be a better option so that there can be more time to discuss it.
And I would actually vote extend if there is an active discussion that doesn't look like it's going to be resolved by the normal cutoff time.
Yeah, that would be a good reason to do it too.
And then defer would be if there's active discussion and it looks like it's getting complicated where we need to actually talk about it over a call.
Is it worth, for the just an idea here, for the simplicity of staff, is it worth having just every staff member just vote yes or no and leave it and let the admins decide on the defer slash extend conversations?
We could, yeah, we could.
But then again,
do-
I suppose that's relying on admin availability, which has been
Hit or miss,
short
yeah.
at times.
That is true. I did put this in bold. There is one clause I put in. If there is already a clear consensus in favor against a topic before the 1 week deadline is up, and an admin at their discretion may choose to accept or reject a topic early. This is just if it's very clear that there's a consensus from staff, like there's no point in waiting. So if an admin could just clean it up and just say, yeah, it's approved, or yeah, it's rejected. We could extend that to the decision of extending and deferring too, if we want. But
I mean, I to be honest, wouldn't be opposed to just letting staff vote, but then it is an admin responsibility to say this has passed, this has failed, this is being extended, so forth. So staff vote, admins
kind of like being a
carry
final
out
judge, like, you know.
exactly, yeah. So and then it is an admin's discretion of, does this warrant further discussion, further time, or is it good?
Okay. How for the rest of the staff, for the mods here, how do you feel about that? It would mean that you don't get to vote extend or defer, but maybe that makes it simpler for you guys. Like,
Yeah, it's simple, and definitely I think the judgment to end it early or extend or defer, I think it is reasonable to leave it to the admins.
okay, yeah, I like that idea, Simon. Let's do it.
And ultimately, if a staff member thinks that it justifies a chat, then they can still just say that. Just because there isn't a formal vote.
And we have our staff channel, so anyone can bring that concern up to let us know.
Or
if
even straight in that
necessary.
proposal channel.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Even if that's not necessarily a direct vote. Yeah, I like that idea, Simon. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I am finishing up the minutes, and I want to make sure I get everything important.
Okay. I'll just prattle on for the extra stuff, Vicky, while you're doing that. It's not too much. So hope people understand that 4K waivers we're proposing to also become part of this. That means we aren't going to be accepting them by email anymore. It does also mean that the 48-hour timer for 4K waivers increases to 1 week, but the benefit is everything, at least it makes everything consistent through Discord rather than via email. Because I feel like the 4K waiver thing has always been this weird special case that we have to keep track of, and I think at least I hope staff would agree that I think it'd be easier not to keep track, like have to, keep track of that and all that stuff.
Actually, here's another question. What about airport proposals?
It's also in here.
Same thing.
Yeah. So all airport approvals should be submitted through proposals instead of email as well. This includes governor-level airports and airfields shared by 2 or more center cities. I actually looked through the rules. We actually have a clause for both of these. So, yeah. And the one other thing is ferry lines that transport warp buses and trains should also be proposed through proposals instead of email. This is also in the rules.
So all yeah. Pretzel, we did just say all governor airports would move to this.
TLDR, use Discord for these sort of things.
The benefits of simplifying it make a ton of sense. This also puts a time limit on the airport stuff because right now we don't really have one there. And I think just having that visibility for everybody as well, just so that everybody can see what all is being proposed and worked on, so that if someone does have some weird concern about something, that even if they're third party. Now, I would ask everyone, don't jump in on every single post, but if something is near your town, you can now at least be aware of it, even if you might not have necessarily been notified under the previous system. So I think the benefits of this are quite huge.
Although, that said, the people that this change affects most is the people that cannot be in Discord, particularly for those that are under 13, because now they won't have any visibility, because at least at the moment they could look at the GSM agendas.
Yeah. For those they will still be able to email us for if they want to make proposals. So that door is still open, but that's the only.
And then is it one of the staff members that puts it into proposals on their behalf?
Did I write that in there?
I
think I
can't remember.
did. Let me think. Yeah, a staff member will then create a forum post on that member's behalf. And a topic will be
I would also
considered.
say for those members, that is a temporary thing, that once they come of age, then that's no longer a concern. I agree that.
I mean, that's not great saying to a 10-year-old because they've still got 3 years before that.
I agree. That's why I'm saying, that's what I was about to say, is that while they are affected, this is, I think, a fine temporary thing. And then obviously once they are able to join Discord, that then they just switch over to using Discord.
Even though for some of our younger members that might be 5-6 years away, which who knows what will be,
Well,
what will
again-
happen in the next 5-6 years.
Well, anyway. Okay.
I think the concern was more of for those people who can't be in Discord, like how will they see the proposals, that may potentially affect them.
I guess they'd have to just get the link to the agenda, which it'll still be. Well, no, they wouldn't. So actually, sorry.
No, they won't, because this stuff isn't going to be on the agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think just as a reminder to people that the 500 block rule is a thing, and you need to be communicating with people if you think that your proposal affects them. So
Yeah, furthermore, this does not excuse people from not getting permission for
yeah.
serving towns and stuff like that.
So I think that in terms of like, if you're going to be directly affected, there's no change because we're not changing those rules. This is more of a nice to have awareness of what's happening for the broader stuff. And that, I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have a good solution for that, short of people just communicating with each other about what has recently been proposed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very similar to how so events that get that are talked about in Discord, somehow those need to get communicated to those people and to either gauge interest or facilitate signups or whatever. And so
I think Skelly
Yeah.
suggested this isn't. I don't think it's a good idea. There could be a doc that is maintained with the topics that are shown in the proposals channel. So for those people who are outside Discord, but it's going to be it's not just a maintenance nightmare because it has to be continually updated, but it's also creating two sources of truth.
yeah.
So like Skelly, if you want to maintain that on your own, feel free. But I feel like that's gonna get thrown in the wayside pretty soon.
Yeah, someone would need to write a bot to copy stuff over. And as we know from our existing Google Docs scripts, sometimes Google Docs can be an interesting thing to work with.
Better code would probably work better.
Okay.
So
I have minutes. I have it written down in minutes, so I'm just going to go through it real quick just to summarize everything. And if there's anything missing, y'all can bring it up. Okay, so I have 5A approved as is. GSM, ISM topics 6 to 10, as well as 4K waivers, airport proposals, and ferries carrying warp transit will be moved to a forum channel, though MRT openings will be left to the discretion of the builder. ISMs will no longer be held. However, for members under 13 that are not allowed on Discord, they and only they can email staff to post a topic on their behalf. At least 50% of staff must vote yes or no on every proposal for them to be approved. We will review this later. And a majority of those must vote yes. Admins can vote to extend or divert the vote if need be. Votes can be changed at any time. Furthermore, an admin, based on their best judgment, can vote to approve a topic early if there is a clear consensus. For technicalities and publicity reasons, staff can vote on their own proposals.
One more correction I want to ask. So, edge case that we have experienced before, person gets their Discord account banned. In the past, when this has happened, we have allowed people to get alts on our server, even though that technically violates the terms of service. What if someone has their Discord account banned and refuses to create an alt for Discord to avoid violating their terms of service while they're in the appeal process?
I'd be happy, bearing that in mind, to change the wording to members not in the Discords are able to submit that, because that's a catch-all for anyone under any circumstances that isn't in the Discord, even if it's as simple as them just not agreeing to Discord's terms of service or something.
There could be also cases of people who are not in Discord for voluntary reasons, which I think
Exactly. That's
Okay.
what Simon just mentioned. So
Okay, so that I changed it to 4 members not in the Discord. They and only they can email staff to post a topic on their behalf.
Good suggestion, Scully.
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Okay, I would like to request a brief, like 5-minute intermission. This snuck up on me because I'm still getting used to no DST, and I need to get changed because I just finished a shower.
Is that okay for everyone?
Given I want minutes, I'm happy to say yes.
Yeah.
What, so return on the hour?
Yeah, let's go back on the hour.
I can go back on the hour. Sounds good.
Do, 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 do.
Thank you.
AP, that I think that means that you have no, it's 6 minutes and change, so you probably wouldn't be able to do your speed run.
What's this speed run?
Ögonvägen vågar den man. If I'd play at
What?
double speed, then maybe.
What did AP just say? I don't.
I have no idea. It sounded Welsh.
I don't know
Even
either.
Simon doesn't understand.
It was German. Anywhere, any time, I think, or any wow. How? It's the name of a song by Nena.
Give us the first couple of seconds.
Oh no.
It's got a very long intro.
We'll skip the intro. Just go from the words. No music, just a cappella now.
Im Stürns warmen Seid, Richtung Endlichkeit, fliegen Massen in das Licht, genau wie du und ich. No, I'm not going anywhere else. I am, however, going to get a cup of tea.
Oh, Dinty and Chief, can we talk about the Get to X thing? I don't know.
Also, that's the short version.
Actually, I don't know if we want to discuss it here because it's in public, but
You did.
What did I just... What?
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 Where was the Get to X thing discussed? Because I haven't seen that.
Staff. It's staff chat.
Staff Minecraft.
In game, mostly. Like it's
Again, the reminder that Frumple TV is live, so.
Well, we're also in here, but
Yeah.
but considering that we were thinking of making this more of a general thing, rather than not just an April Fool's thing, maybe that's okay. I don't know. It's up to
Yeah.
you. We could discuss.
I
it
have
later.
returned.
Okay, Vicky back.
I mean, if we need to get some Binti code involved.
Where's the initial discussion? Because I can see the question in staff, but I don't know where the initial question was about.
Looking
Get to
staff
X.
Minecraft, I think.
It's staff
Yeah,
Minecraft.
how
not
far?
staff.
How far back?
Maybe about a day or two.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
I
it?
see. Yeah.
Yeah, we're holding on 5B. We're waiting. Vicky's back. We're waiting on AP to get back with their.
Yeah, I requested the intermission because like I really needed to get changed because I had just taken a shower. And I need to actually wear proper clothes because I need to go grocery shopping and do my laundry. So it's been needing to be done. So how's everyone today? I don't know.
Oh, I like that idea actually in Steph Minecraft.
There's. Oh, what the hell? Why did I get kicked out? That's weird. Yeah, there's different ways we could go about it, Simon. I'm not sure. Yeah.
As you say, I think that if there was a list of things, I'm being very generic in what I'm saying, then that could be used. That could be used for a long time.
It probably need to be a really big list, otherwise it might get repetitive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it seems pretty fun.
Actually, I think we.
I wonder if
we need a Discord thread in staff for this.
I wonder if Yoshi and Hut might be interested to contribute, because I know they are both wiki advocates, so we'll be able to help from the research point of view.
Let's not try to spoil it too much because there are non-staff here.
We're just gonna keep them guessing, and they'll be confused, and
you'll know what we're talking about only when it happens.
Yes.
If it happens.
In a little under 5 months, or actually a little under.
No, this one probably isn't an April thing. This is probably something that'll get released at a different time.
Or we could do it as an April thing to introduce it, and then make it a general thing.
It does seem fun, but we need to talk about it more.
Yep. EP, are you back?
I see the temporary and the permanent things being two different formats, but obviously the same input to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just flew back to the little seating area. God, this is gone a bit crazy.
In fact, I'm gonna go on the Minecraft server real quick. Granted, it'll probably start back up before I get on.
Upload. Why would the someone had the time to upload Better Call Saul all in place. It feels like
they didn't upload it. They built it. Look on the Maps Worlds Dyn map in the northwest.
That's a waste of space.
Have you seen it? All of it.
Did you know that you have rights?
What? I come back and this is what has happened to my town.
I'm just like, if anyone knows the YouTube channel Doug, he invaded the United States, like hypothetical version of the United States with artificial intelligence, and like Saul Goodman like helped a lot in invading. He was like, and then he was killed, and then he rose from the dead.
So, Vicky, speaking of the Doug channel, I would the one where he was using the discussion generator bot. Watch that one at 2 times speed and tell me you're not laughing.
I might, but that's fairly long. So we'll see.
No, you just need to watch the first 5 minutes at 2 times speed. So, okay, seems like people are back, so we can go ahead and continue. Trumple, you want to make more small Discord changes too?
Yes.
Yes.
Put it
By
all
B.
on one topic, because why the fuck not? So first, I want to add a programming channel to IRL things, because I keep seeing discussions both in game and on Discord of people discussing code and their projects and their school assignments that deal with code. And I figured, since it's pretty important in school curriculums nowadays, let's make a channel dedicated to this sort of thing. It can be used for discussions of those projects, which will be in part of the next topic, like the status tracker or the staff ping thing, so people can discuss in there as well.
I like it. I am currently, I mentioned before, Frumple, but I am currently coding a version of the Enigma machine, so I will be happy to give updates.
Yeah, you can post code in there, do code reviews in there even, if you really want that.
Complain about other people's code.
Code review on.
Veto on any discussion of the city rank scripts.
It's not a place to do code reviews. Believe me, I have far too many of them at work.
Okay. Are we okay with this? We'll just give it a try and see how that is.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think I said I was skeptical of whether there'd be demand for it, but I don't think it
don't think
could
it'd be
reduce demand.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be the lowest used channel.
Yeah, I was thinking of merging with science maybe, but I feel like it's different enough from that.
Yeah, because code is a lot of times for programming. Like that would be a lot of step of. Here's what I'm doing involving code and or jokes specific about programming, which yes is like computer science is a science, but it's also like different kind of stuff.
You can post
So-
all your XKCDs in there, Chief.
Yes, exactly. Although I can
Oh,
post them in other
God.
channels too, because XKCDs are relevant to things beyond just programming.
That's true.
XKCD is relevant to
True.
everything. There is
I-
one
Yes.
for everything.
Here's true.
Not long ago, there was a discussion on someone trying to make an app to identify bird species. There is the exact XKCD.
There is an XKCD specifically about that. You are
There's
correct.
2 of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an XKCD about everything.
Anyway, yes, we've approved. Let's carry on.
Okay.
On a related topic, there are tools made by like Scary Kramer 7D, like MRT Rapid Route and the city map. I have a feeling those third-party tools, they're very, very useful, but I don't feel like the whole community as a whole knows about them. So I would like to give them a bit more
Yeah.
attention. So I would like to put them in the information channel, probably second to last message in there. So with just links to those tools.
I
I like it.
enthusiastically agree with this. I would love those tools to be more accessible. So I'm very happy.
Information is
Agree.
something I quickly forget about because I just have links in Chrome. But no, I think that would be really useful.
Okay, seeing any rejection there, let's approve that one. The next one is probably the most controversial of all these 4. I saw some discussion of some people using it. I want to remove the Hydra music bot because, at least from what I've seen, I'm usually on Discord quite a bit, I haven't really seen many people use it, or anybody use it really. Apparently it was used for some event. I don't exactly remember what it was recently. But considering that you can now use the YouTube Watch Together feature in Discord, which can probably play music, I feel like I don't feel like there's no need for this bot anymore. And so if we remove the bot, we free up 2 channels worth of stuff. So I don't know, less scrolling in Discord. I'd be happy with that.
I completely forgot that the YouTube Watch Together thing was actually a thing.
It's a
But
very
with
new
that, yeah.
feature. It's a very new feature, to be fair. So
Fair.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I think we're good to clean that up.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next topic.
oh, okay.
I've got a controversial suggestion.
Okay. Number 4. There's some invites in Oscar's Discords that are not mainly posted by people who are not here anymore, or at least on the Discord. So I feel like let's clean those up. What's your controversial suggestion, Simon?
My controversial suggestion is the fact that Discord channel has been open for over 2 years. I'm questioning how relevant all of the links in there would be. Full Thanos mode, delete them all. For Discords that are still active, the owners / people that take care of it can repost a link.
I'm not opposed to the idea. That's a bold suggestion, Cotton.
I do like that idea.
I feel like a variant thereupon would probably be a kind of a good middle ground of, say,
Actually,
in a month, anything up to this point is deleted.
At
way.
that point, people have to review it anyway. It's going to be easier to manage if we just delete everything and people can repost.
Fair point.
So
I don't think there's a benefit in waiting.
do you want to do a cutoff? Like how long ago should we delete?
Honestly,
Yes, all of them.
I don't even want to do a cutoff. I just want to clear the channel, and now we know that all new links going in there will be somewhat more relevant than something that was posted in October 2020.
And I think even though for those who have posted within the last couple months, yes, it may be slightly inconvenient, but I would rather just be sure that stuff is being used.
for instance, an example which is like the fourth message in the channel. I don't know how often Super Minecraft L does MRT cribs, where he looks at people's houses.
I think. Okay. Okay. Sure. Should we do this? I'm just gonna read people's opinions. I'm sure people have things to say about it. I think there was some discussion about MRT cribs on a related note, but earlier.
Well, if it's still relevant, someone can repost the link.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing any. You didn't make the suggestion late, so I don't. So anyone who's not at the meeting wouldn't know. But
It's for Discord owners. It's a matter of 5 minutes to have to repost it if they didn't agree.
yeah, it's not a big deal, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
It's not even 5 minutes.
All right. We're gonna. Okay. Let's Thanos it. Well, actually, the full on Thanos, 'cause it's not even half of him. It's.
Yeah, not half of them, but we're
Thanos squared.
Perfectly deleted, as all things should be.
But
No, wait.
a half squared is a quarter.
No, wait, yeah, it'll be Thanos to the infinite
fine.
power.
Infinite Thanos.
Done.
All right. Okay. We'll clean that up. All right. That's the end of my topic. Let's move on.
Map caretaker. Mike 24 did.
Yeah.
I would be willing to open up this position to any non-staff member. I'm not sure what other people's thoughts are, but I don't necessarily think it has to be a staff member that volunteers for this. So
I am the opinion I would prefer not to be a member because it does set a precedent. It does give a special privilege to a non-staff member, and
it's
I don't know.
realistically, it's access to a World Guard region.
Oh, jeez. Is it just the World Guard region? Like, what about if they need to do world edit or clean up a map or?
Well, no. So I think
Yeah.
my understanding was it was, well, and certainly what Mega did was just maintain the library in the center. I think that's what Mike is asking for. It's just a case of cataloging those new maps that are added so they are in the spawn area. So it would be just someone needs to be appropriately trusted, and yeah, they just need to be given the access to the World Guard region at Map World Spawn to do that.
If we
So
were...
the
Oh, go ahead, Chief.
yeah, my thought is the precedent that sets is that because the library in the center of that world is curated, then you kind of the standard of what should go in there is probably a bit higher than I just uploaded a map for my own convenience. And because
But people that uploaded the map for their own convenience probably won't take the time to submit it to the map world, because like it's curated specifically of the submitted maps.
but you do still have to have someone managing that and making sure that any submissions that are coming in are actually meant to be something that is used beyond just a
Well, I mean, the whole point in the map world catalog is there was going to be a lot, so you could put anything there just for people to get inspiration from as well.
well, and I guess
Like
that
Like
gets
we're
into the
using
point of-
like I think less than an eighth of the total volume is being used at the moment.
Yeah, it's tiny. I think partly because I honestly think it's probably because we've made the map uploading more reliable. But Frumple has made the map uploading more reliable. I'm not going to take any credit. But so people are less inclined to build it in the map world. It seems to me, at least in past, that maps built in the map world would be more likely to go on to the library by default.
I mean, I'm not seeing any arguments against this having to be I'm not seeing any arguments saying this has to be a staff member. I'm not saying. I'd be happy to say we're looking for volunteers.
So I at least for the baseline of this, I agree with Mike that there should be at least someone. I guess one question I guess I'll throw out is, if we do decide to choose a non-staff member, or like how do we like for a staff member? If it was a staff member, we just get a volunteer. But if it was a non-staff member, how do we determine it? Like, how do we determine who would be a good caretaker and I guess in a way a gatekeeper a little bit because they need to allow which maps go into the library or not, right?
I mean, we could. I mean, take volunteers initially. If there are multiple applicants, I'd be happy to run some kind of interview process. Not obviously nothing formal, but to determine who should.
Hmm.
But like in terms of the precedent, which people were saying, actually, it's Yoshi that manages Central Park already in terms of keeping the warps up to date, who is a non-staff member. So I don't think there's any change to precedent.
I have some issues with that relationship, especially with the wiki too. But yeah, I won't go into it too much here. I don't know how do we like I still don't know how we're gonna choose. Like, how do we choose? Do we just make an application form for this, or?
Yeah. To be honest, I'll put out an application form, and I need to think of the details, but yeah, I'll generate one of those in the next week.
Okay. Does that sound like a good plan for everyone? I don't know.
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. There just feels something wrong with it, but I don't know what.
I mean, let's ask the easier point of view. Are there any staff members that are willing to take on this duty before we put it out to the community?
That would solve it if there was, but I have a feeling we're all busy, so
I don't know if I'd be able to do it long term.
yeah, that's what I thought. Like, it doesn't.
Here's the question,
Yeah.
and we'll need to answer this regardless of whether it's a staff member or someone else. But we need to clearly define what all the responsibilities are of this person.
Should we? Let's just do it right now. So
Yeah.
it's so
Maintaining the map world spawn or catalog and appropriately curating maps that have been provided to be stored there.
So I'm not too familiar with the map world. What's the current process for? They say I'm some member and I want to submit a map into the catalog. What's
You
the
go to the map world spawn, and there is a chest which you put your map in to for submission. That then goes to a world guarded area, which is the responsibility of the person looking after the map world to process.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's if you do /mvtp map and literally turn around and walk forward, the board is right there. Oh no, never mind. You don't even need to turn around. Just walk forward.
Oh, this thing. Okay.
Mm.
Could another solution maybe, since we just did Skelly's suggestion for the different kind of mod nomination, could we just for now maybe make maybe I could do this. I could be the map person, and then later on, if another staff member has a time, if they open up or a new staff member comes on, maybe they can take over the position.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's
but actually, I'm thinking this is quite a nice responsibility if someone wants to demonstrate their commitment to the community, if they're interested in taking up one of those, either conductor or staff roles. I think I certainly wouldn't. I don't see a requirement to have that be a staff member. But if the general staff consensus is no, it should be a staff member, I'm happy to go back on that.
Yeah, Vicky and Skelly, and I think a little bit myself, have expressed. I don't know if we feel comfortable with give
Yeah.
I guess they were outsourcing it to non-staff is a way to say it.
I mean, if it is, I'd be willing to take it up actually. Particularly if it is something, say, on a weekly basis or
Not even
thereabouts.
weekly. Not even weekly.
This is something that looks fairly minor because
Yeah, I'm willing to.
There's not all that many submissions that come in all that often. So
I think there might be a few more when, if, well, this whole discussion's kind of made, hopefully, more awareness of it, of the ability to do that.
It is possible that because there was no one maintaining the map world, people haven't been submitting. It's kind of a chicken egg problem a little bit.
yeah, true.
So maybe if there is someone, then you'll start seeing a lot of more maps submitted.
Yeah, I'm willing to be that someone.
Okay, we have a volunteer.
I mean, I think that
That's all.
cancels all other communication. We've got a volunteer from the staff, so let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point,
Thanks,
AP
AP.
volunteered to fill the role. Okay.
Is there,
What have I done?
is there a specific title for this? We haven't done titles. I guess.
No, we don't. We don't need a formal title, but we can just call it Map World
I mean,
Coordinator.
map world coordinator. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
If you want to, the base requirements is maintaining the catalog. AP, if you want to do additional work and look to curate the wider maps, then I wouldn't be. Yeah, I trust your judgment.
Cool.
yeah, I mean, the only title that has additional responsibilities is head admin, but otherwise that's we kind of haven't done those for a while. So okay, thanks, AP.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, AP.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Section 5 done. Section 6A, the A746 renumber and extension by Mike.
I really should have asked him to submit a map.
There is a map.
There is a map.
It's not linked on the agenda.
It's you gotta scroll down.
Oh, it is on the agenda.
Oh.
Oops.
That's silly.
It's the way Google Docs is. Yeah, it's dumb.
I mean, it's because we're using paged Google Docs. If we turned off pages, then it would show up right below.
Has Fenton
I see
approved-
no reason to have
Did
pages.
Fenton approve
Anyway.
that road in the past?
Sorry, what's your question?
Did Fenton approve having the A76 or A746 in the past?
That would require someone to search through the archives of the staff meeting agendas, probably. That might take a while.
I bet it will take me 5 minutes.
Okay, if you wanna. Do you wanna skip over this topic and maybe when you're done, maybe get back to it?
Yeah, I think it's just MRT line openings from now on.
Okay, I do know that Lithium has at least twice, I think, proposed the A746, or unless I'm thinking about some other road. So I'm sure you'll probably find something along those lines. Also, I didn't know about pageless Google Docs. I should.
Yeah,
put it on.
pageless Google Docs are a thing now.
Okay. Should we move on and then come back to this?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I think Chief's fixing the marker.
Yep,
No-
just
no-
fixed it.
No events, no ITs. 9A.
So the meme is done. The Western Line South is actually built all the way down to Tembach. I'm never doing an MRT line again after this. God.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do another one. But yeah, so yep. Yeah, so Merced down to Tembach is all good to go. Jasper, because Jasper filed a request on the Union line as well, Jasper has withdrawn their request of WS8. So the only station that needs to be formally awarded at this stage is WS13, which is going, and of course I scrolled way past the other thing, which is it's going to Danny/Fresk. Otherwise, that leaves probably about a dozen stations available for claiming. So.
Cool. And now people won't bother
Cool.
you about it anymore, Chief. Hopefully.
Yes. So, okay, cool. Go ride the Western Line. There are actually some cool stations on there. So 12 is probably my favorite, because it's on the top of a plateau. So, but yes, Western Line is now open, and I'm not doing any more of these. So, have fun. The end.
Cool.
And then Simon, you've been busy with the Union Line, haven't you?
Yeah, I didn't really want to make the comparison with how many stations I've made since you started the Western Line, so I won't. But yeah, I've opened another. I will be opening another 51 stations at this GSM, of which several were in existing towns. I can't remember exactly how many were up for grabs, but we have had 5 applications. None of them clash with each other, so I intend to give across 9B and 9C first choices to everyone, which is U36 to Noah, U43 to Zuraj, U47 to PG, U56 to Jasper, and U61 to Chimata. That takes the Union Line all the way down to Ellerton Fosby, where the GSM is now being held, and when the Forum Channel opens, I will probably propose the next one. So yeah, I've been busy.
Yep, seems fine to me. And speaking of the Union Line, it seems like oh wait, what, John? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to edit, so I will be waiting for the proposals channel to open and hopefully be the first to use it.
Cool.
Let's finish 9E and then we can roll back to Skelly for a sec there.
Yep. So 9E is a proposal of a new line. It is Fred and Mrs. sponsoring an extension of the Valley Line.
This feels...
I am... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to make a joke about environmental impact because it does feel like one of those reports that would include it.
Oh God, don't revive that meme. Please, not that meme.
This is certainly one of the more detailed ones we've received.
Yeah, way too much. But in sum, he's got all the permissions, and it's a solid route which follows the general strategy. I think one point for discussion, which will be done when I propose the Union Line, is I would probably have my interchange in Eric Song's town, which is the terminus of the Valley Line, so V60 Ron rather than what he was proposing, V59, V60, but I'll work with Fred on that, and I don't think that's worth delaying the Valley Line, because certainly by the time he gets down that far, there will be consensus.
Yeah, it seems fine to me.
Yeah. No concerns at this point. Your environmental impact statement is approved.
Jeez, Fred, you put so much detail in this. God. Wow.
Okay, here, may I remind you that Kitty also has submitted intro proposals of this quality, and they're quite good, and that I appreciate them because they include everything we need.
I draw dots on map.
Yeah, quick proposal, best proposal, in my opinion.
Anyway,
because I did not read any of it.
In fairness, I did read it. I was quite impressed.
For a moment, I thought I was gonna see station ridership numbers or something. Anyway,
projected ridership, projected fare income, transit-oriented development, tax credit offsets.
You know, in theory, we could theoretically do like actual ridership numbers, but somebody would have to like take like 50 million years to look at all the stations.
Or write a
Alright.
plugin that just sends a webhook to a thing that just tracks it, but that also sounds like work. So
Let's yeah, let's go back to
I think this is okay. Approved. Have fun, Fred.
Okay, so this proposal has some holes in it, but I'll go
Wait,
over.
wait. Sorry.
Nope.
Fred is asking about because there's an alternate plan apparently built inside this plan.
we have to. Okay, let's open that PDF again.
I know, right when I closed it.
I remember seeing the word alternate, but I thought that wasn't going to be considered.
The alternate plan was
2.4.
about different station placements, right?
Yes, section 2.4.
I don't particularly care. I think we can trust you, Fred. Whichever one.
Yep, do as you wish. As I
agree.
said, I'll be interchanging at V62, so it doesn't. Sorry, at the terminus, whatever number that may be. So, go with what your gut says.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree. Fred, use your judgment. Plan approved.
$62 is a great number, so I'm fine with that.
Okay, Skelly, go for it.
So this is what the research reveals. So A746 was originally a road from Changhua to, from Kopino through Changhua to Bird Hall, and it originally terminated in Bird Hall as originally proposed in the August 2019 GSM by Lithium, where it was approved. In 2021, for some reason, we asked Lithium to repropose it. He resubmitted phase 1 at the July 2021 GSM from Kopino to Changhua. We approved that one. He's apparently built to Bird Hall from Changhua in phase 2. I don't know why we didn't ask him to resubmit that one or what happened with that one. I'm not big. I don't know the timeline on that one. So what Mike is proposing is that number 1, he wants to take over Lithium's work and extend A746 from Bird Hall, where it currently terminates unfinished as a stub, south to Fenton, which is owned by the Fun Man. And number 2, he wants to renumber A746 to A76 because he essentially wants to turn it into an extension of A76 south from Kopino to Bird Hall and Fenton. Now, the thing here is that Mike claims that the Fun Man is uncontactable on Discord, but I can see that he actually does have a contact, that he actually does have an account on our Discord. So I'm not sure what exactly happened, if Mike has attempted to contact the Fun Man or if he just thought that the Fun Man doesn't have an account at all on Discord right now.
I'd imagine it'd be easy to find since it's at the end of the alphabet. Like, you just scroll down the whole member list and just find their name. It's named the Fun Man, right? Is that correct?
It's named the Fun Man. It seems to have never sent a message, but it does exist, and it's been in the Discord since 2019.
And there's also this thing called Search too. So
should we just ask Mike to resubmit? Is that the only concern, Skelly? Is there anything else, actually?
In terms of anything else, well, I'd be fine with the road itself as long as Mike's the one leading it, because frankly, I don't really trust Lithium to be the one leading the thing.
I would not disagree with that. Yep, considering Lithium's
that's
history
reasonable.
with road building.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I was thinking of suggesting maybe make Mike resubmit, but if that's the only thing, maybe it's just Mike needs to just clarify what he means by contacting the Fun Man. Like, based on, I can't really tell from the sentence, but it could mean like he did contact the Fun Man and didn't get a response. But
yeah, I can't tell either. I'm still wondering what exactly happens with phase 2 and why he built it why Lithium built it without getting reapproval on it, but I can't.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have a timeline on that, so it's already done at this point. There's no block data on it through a tunnel.
if I recall correctly, we asked him to resubmit phase 1 because it was so long since he had did the first proposal, and he still hadn't finished at the time, if I recall correctly. I think we did at least approve it up to Bird Hall. That might be wrong.
I think I recall that vaguely, but I think I do.
There's also a possibility, Skelly, that because again, there's a language barrier and communication is an issue with Lithium. Like, he might have misunderstood and thought he still had approval all the way for his phase 2, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if we want to try to clarify with him at this point, or just let Mike take over this part of the project.
Yeah, I think it's better to just let Mike take over.
Okay, so Mike takes over the project, pending, and there's a lot about it, pending
The
clarification about Zefundman.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds right to me.
Okay, I want to play poker. Let's finish this off.
Okay, and then it's basically just confirming the schedule for next year.
I mean, I
Or
have to
first half
ask.
of next year.
I have to ask this. Do we still want to do alternating Saturdays and Sundays? Again, ignoring the ISM dates there, like, because again, part of me just kind of wants a consistency all on maybe a Saturday, because there's always questions from members or even some staff or myself, like, is there a GSM today, or is it on the Sunday? It's hard to remember.
I think because I don't have the data of what staff attendance is like, I'd like to maybe use
Simon,
the
it is actually. Oh no, it's number of topics, not attendance. Never mind. Sorry,
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
I'd like to I'd like to look at, are there some staff that only come on Saturdays, some staff that only come on Sundays, so we know actually if we do Saturdays we're stopping some staff from attending. But
it's unfortunate, but unfortunately, whatever we choose here, I don't know.
It's not going to be perfect for everybody.
Yeah, it's not going to work for everybody. I don't know.
I know for me, I'm on average slightly more likely to come in on Saturday, but that's like mostly for me traveling and stuff like that. Sometimes Saturday is easier, but it doesn't really matter all that much in the grand scheme of things.
I would prefer consistency, but I think the staff members that aren't able to attend today would have the strongest opinions on how it's scheduled, given they aren't available to make this.
And I think there are some staff members. I think I remember Needham saying like he would prefer to alternating. So yeah, it's one of those cases where it's not going to please everyone. So
how about when let's go with the meetings as proposed. We can keep an eye on it, and when we come to repropose this is for 6 months, is it? Apologies, I've shut the agenda now.
We do it every 6 months.
When we propose the next set, then we can consider that.
Okay. All right.
So
let's go with this then.
Yeah, we can go with that. I mean, it doesn't really solve the question all that much. So I would say I'd rather honestly get a poll going sooner than later to figure out where people generally have availability.
Yeah.
We could go back to early days where I'd make a doodle poll and then try to
Oh God.
herd cats and all that. At least in those cases, we could choose a date where people actually appeared, because every staff meeting we've done, including the ISMs, have been we're just kind of hoping staff will appear rather than not really knowing. So okay, whatever. I think that's it.
That's it. All right. We'll take questions if anyone has them. Otherwise, we'll start preparing to take Fred's money. Yeah, Fred, you owe us money, so we're coming to take it.
Has Fred played poker? I don't think he's joined recently.
I'm gonna head off.
Yes.
See you all.
See you
All
soon.
right.
All right, see you,
Thanks, Simon.
Simon.
Can I just say, whoever decided to put in a shulker box labelled Among Us Last Supper, and then it just be a picture of a TV character, I don't necessarily approve.
Staff are already leaving.
I'm not
so I don't know.
Okay, staff are leaving, so we're gonna call this done. If anyone wants
Bye-bye,
to play
go-go.
poker, if anyone wants to play poker, join the events channel.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Oh, Fred has a question. Could I get station clearance so I can work on the extension? What do you mean, Fred?
Are
You got permissions.
fine.
Oh, I think he needs a permission for Eolia. Yeah.
Oh, the world.
Yep,
card.
done.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, you're all set, Fred. Just added it. Okay.
All
right, thanks,
I'll add all
everyone.
the Discord stuff after. And has anyone promoted Foot yet? Or the conductors, I guess.
I don't think so, but I
Okay,
could be wrong.
We'll get to that soon.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm gonna end this event. If you want to join poker, come to the events channel. Bye.
Bye bye.